Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And today we're talking to a young man who's taking extraordinary lengths in order to bring the question of mental health onto our screens. He's had personal experience of tragedy in his family because of mental health issues. He's walking some extraordinary distance. I'll let him explain that. But we're really talking about this. I know that we in the travel industry have had our issues and had our challenges with mental health. Many of us have experienced friends who have taken their own lives because of mental health issues. And I'm delighted this morning to introduce Frazer Last, who I think is currently in Ireland. But good morning, Frazer.
Morning, Graham. Thank you very much. I'm actually currently in Wales, but I'm days away from Ireland now. So the process is continuing, and yeah, we're in a good spot, and the plan's all going to plan, and very happy at the moment.
Right, give me a little bit more detail of your trek. You know, you're yomping across the England, Wales, and then I think eventually trying to get to a place in Ireland. But give me a bit more detail of where you started, where you are, and where you're going to end up.
Yeah. So basically, started at my aunt's grave in the southeast of England, a little village called Alf. And I'm walking to my cousin's grave on the west coast of Ireland in a tiny village called Labashida in County Clare. And the reason being these two destinations is they both took their own life, obviously due to mental health struggles. So that's the reasons and the really sort of sentimental value to the start and end locations.
What distance does that equate to?
Well, I planned out just over 500. A few days in, I quickly found out that obviously every single path was going to go to complete perfect plan. So it probably equate to maybe 530 miles, I believe. That's my estimated goal at the moment.
Good. And how are your tootsies at the moment?
Yeah, they're all right. Touch wood. Been going pretty well. I the first couple of days. I sort of didn't prepare for it. I got a bit of heat rash on my feet, but that we sorted that out pretty quickly. But yeah, I think I'm holding up pretty well in fairness.
Good. Um, let's delve a little bit deeper into your auntie and your cousin. They both took their own lives. How long ago was this?
So my aunt was, and at the time I was only 8 years old. And I'm being honest, at that age, obviously I didn't really understand it. I saw what it did to the family, but when you just don't get it. And then as I grew up, um, I had a few struggles of my own, and around that time was when my cousin took his own life, and that was only a couple of years ago, and it was really hard hitting. We were the same age. There's only a few months between our ages, and to think that there was someone my age suffering that badly, that was the conclusion. I was very close to him growing up. I hadn't seen him for a long time before he took his own life, but sort of things happen as you get older. But yeah, to sort of go from struggling a little bit on my own, and hearing that almost around the same time it was pretty brutal, to be honest. And then the way in Ireland is that the funeral was only a couple of days later, so we went over, and the devastation of the family was, yeah, I mean, you can probably understand, or maybe some people simply can't, because it's just something that you don't ever want to have to experience, and that's sort of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to do as much as I can to stop other families experiencing. And although one of the cases in my life I didn't completely feel the full force of it due to my age, the second time I definitely did, and I don't. I want to do my bit to stop that happening for other people, for other families.
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced my son's friend killed himself. He had a young child at the time. He hung himself in the woods. One of my colleagues in the travel industry killed himself. Also had a small child, and one of my reactions, and I know my son's reaction, it was a mixture really. One was of what else could I have done? What could I have done? What signs did I miss here? And the second one was sometimes is of anger. really, the people would do that and leave such devastation. Were they the similar sort of feelings that you had within your family?
Yeah, I mean, like every single person who knows the person probably has some form of your relation to that different on your thoughts. I was never angry at my cousin. I was never angry at my aunt, but I can understand that. I mean, the amount of emotion that goes through anyone's head, especially the sort of immediate, really close family, like you say, like you question yourself, you doubt yourself, and then, but it's more the fact that that's there forever. Then there's no, there's nothing that will change that,
No,
and
there's no going back. No.
and then thoughts will stay forever. And I think that's the thing that people maybe just don't really understand the grieving and bereavement. It, it doesn't make it any easier or better, but if in a lot of cases of death, um, it's sort of known, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
like, it's obviously part of life, but when it happens at a young age and in that circumstance, there's people that will live their lives, well, live the rest of their lives without knowing if they could have done anything, and it is just it's an eternal unknown.
Yeah. And I get the feeling that this is this adventure, if you like, this trek you're taking is to bring awareness, to have discussions of this nature, and hopefully stimulate discussions of this nature for people who watch this and people who know of your progress through social media and so on.
Yeah, I mean, I the I make it very apparent that I understand the effect of what happens through suicide, and I understand that what I'm doing is not about anything other than the fact that I want people to sort of be more aware of what it can do and maybe what to look out for. I mean, the charity raising the money for are both amazing. They do amazing work in, well, basically both the charities I'm doing it for cover all of the UK and Ireland. So it's it's about bringing people's understanding to the signs of it before it can get too bad, and just sort of trying to end the stigma, really, that people can't talk about how they feel because of whatever reason, and that 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 shouldn't be a thing. People should be able to understand that everything will get better, and that's the sort of message that I try and bring to people, is that although the struggles on my own, I never went to a place like unfortunately people do. I do know that things get better, and I want the message to be that people can talk, and that mental health is a real issue. I mean, it's the biggest killer in sort of young men at the moment, and obviously I've experienced it with females in my life as well. So I just want to make a difference. I think that's the goal here.
Good. Well, it's all very admirable, Fraser, and I think everybody is that's involved with you, like your dad and your mum, and everybody must be very proud of you and well done. Um, let's have a little bit of a commercial then. Who are you raising money for, and how can they? Is it best to follow you, say, on Instagram or something?
Yeah, I think my Instagram. I'm probably. I'll be honest. I'm not the best at social media. My girlfriend would tell people that and probably laugh at me for it. But Charlie Waller Trust is the UK side of things. So they're a charity that work predominantly with sort of younger people, helping people with signs of mental health problems before it gets too large. And the other charity is Mental Health Ireland. So they do sort of everything, a bit of everything. They do their best for everyone that they can help. And yeah, the best way to sort of find my donation page is Instagram. My TikTok probably provides the best day-to-day videos, because every day I just try and do a video so that people along can see sort of what I'm up to, where I've gone, and what I see throughout the day. To be honest, sometimes it's not the most thrilling days. You just sort of ones and twos on the floor. But yeah, TikTok and Instagram are probably the best two places to follow along.
Excellent. Well, TikTok, and what's your account's name? What's your handle
So
on?
on TikTok, it's 1999, and Instagram it is Fraser's underscore.
Could you just repeat those?
Yeah, so Instagram is Fraser underscore journey. My name Fraser is spelled with a Z, and a lot of people miss that. And TikTok is F Last 1999.
Lovely. Excellent. Well, the only thing I'm hoping you're not doing is walking at any stage in this thing in a Brighton and Hove Albion shirt.
Oh, I've done
That
that
would,
times. I've even had Bobby Zamora give out on his Instagram. So,
that might cause you to lose a few followers, I'm afraid.
oh well, if that's the case.
Okay, Fraser, thank you very much. And best of luck. I hope it all goes well, and I hope this is a help in your own personal journey in thinking about how you could have helped, how you could and could have helped. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Graham.
Cheers.